Pakistani students have received their Turkiye Burslari interview emails. Congratulations to everyone who has received an email. For those of you who haven't, wish I could do something about it, bro. But that's just the way it is, man. Now, the date of the interview is going to be 20th of this month, bro. Whatever this month is, bro. I don't know. Now, because the interview is going to be super close, it's going to be on the 20th. That is a week away. I thought I would make a video summing up all of the advice that I've given in all of my past videos and put them into one video at a place where you can access super easily. Now, the advice that I'm going to give is divided into 3 sections, which is going to be know your application, and know yourself, and know your career, because the interview is going to be basically, you're just going to tell, they're going to ask you about yourself and you're going to give information about yourself. That's what an interview is. And so the best preparation you can do is knowing stuff. Wow. All right, now, knowing your application, you want to know, first of all, why do you want to study the career that you have mentioned? For example, if you applied for mechatronic engineering, that's what I did, Why do you want to study mechatronic engineering? Why? Okay, they're absolutely going to ask you, okay, why do you want to study this? And yeah, you're just going to have to tell, bro. And in answering this question, make sure you give some, level of ambition, some level of goals, some... Yeah, understand what I'm trying to say. And then the second thing you absolutely need to know is why certain unis, I did not get asked this question, but I almost did, the guy asked me this question, but then the other guy told him something in Turkish and he just changed the topic. But there are some people who got asked this question, and it's just a good one to have in your pocket, is why certain unis, okay? For example, your list of universities, why do you have this university on the top? Or why did you put this one second, Do you absolutely want to go to this university? Why? And so you need to do your research about the universities, What I would say is just like, do the research about the top 3 universities that you've put in your list. If you've already done research, if you've done it like in a sensible way, then you already should have the answers, because, oh, I heard that this university has better, research programs and stuff, they have better labs and stuff, this stuff, that. You can absolutely do that if you've put the stuff down sensibly. What I did was I put it up randomly. Okay, I just did one Google research, like good Turkish universities. I think that's exactly what I did, like good Turkish universities. And I just randomly put the ones that popped up. Google gives you like 50 Turkish universities when you do that. And I just boom, 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 boom. Okay, boom, that's it, bro. That's my application. But alhamdulillah, I have ended up in a very good Turkish university, and so all is cool, all is cool. And so, yeah, the way I did it was I was doing my research literally on the way to Lahore. I was on the way to Lahore, and in the Devu bus, I was doing my research on the universities. Okay, so make sure you do research on the universities. And then another important one, which I don't think is that important, but it's always a good one to have, is why city. For example, my applications were all in like Istanbul, okay, except for like one university, like Middle East Technical University, is in Ankara. I placed it at like 3rd priority or 2nd, I don't know. Don't follow me, like I did it randomly, okay? And so it's like a good idea to know like why do you want to study in a certain city. For example, if they ask me like, oh, most of your universities are in Istanbul, why do you want to study in Istanbul? Except for that it's a tourist place, And so I had like pretty good answers for that, saying like, oh, it's a tourist hub, that does not just mean that there are like touristic places and stuff. It's actually a business hub, I can enter like the world of engineering and stuff better. I feel like this, bro. Okay, yeah, that's it. And then you need to know like any statistics you mentioned. For example, if you mentioned like the way I did is like I mentioned a memorandum of understanding between Pakistan and Turkey, and basically what that did was like it increased like investments into the renewable sector in both Pakistan and in Turkey. I think that was what it was about. And so that meant that the electric vehicle sector, the renewable vehicle sector, was actually also going to go up, And so I said like, okay, so this is like related to my interest as well. And so I mentioned that fact in my application, in the essay that I wrote, letter of intent, and I memorized it again. I revised it in my head, and I was prepared for it for the interview as well. If you mention like facts like this and stuff, and I also mentioned like the electric vehicle growth in Pakistan as well. I remember there was this company in Pakistan, it sold like electric rickshaws, and so I said like the electric rickshaw sale has increased by this much over the past months, and so I knew some stats, so that's going to be helpful as well. It's going to make a good impression. It's gonna be good. Now, the second part is know yourself, bro. It sounds dumb, but I'm trying to put something together here, bro. I'm trying to do this in an intellectual way, okay? Now, know yourself. Now, what do I mean by that? I believe, I'm just gonna repeat, yeah, I'm just gonna tell you to focus on the why career again, amongst other advice as well. But that is like a part of like knowing yourself as well, as to why do you want to study this career, okay? And so you need to link it to your childhood or something. You can do that as well. But the other advice is like family as well. You know, you need to know about your family as well. They're gonna talk to you about your family in initial chit chat, and so it's always a good idea to be mentally prepared for that. You already know all of this stuff. But something that happened to me was he asked me like. I mentioned like my sister studies in a university, and he asked me like, "Oh, is it public university or is it private university?" And I did not know. I did not know, bro. And I said it's a private university. Oh, sheesh, private universities are expensive, okay? And so when actually it's a public university, and my sister also has a scholarship. The scholarship I did mention. I mentioned that she has a very good scholarship. You know, it's pretty cheap. You know, this, that, which is actually true, by the way. It's all true. I did not lie, and I do not encourage you to lie either. And yeah, and by knowing yourself, I also mean like knowing your plans and stuff. What do you plan to do after your studies? I think they asked me this as well. Yeah, what do you plan to do after your studies? Do you plan to stay in Turkey, or do you plan to come back to Pakistan and stuff, or do you plan to like go forward somewhere? And you just need to give them a good answer. The way I said it was like, I'm going to come back to Pakistan, and I'm going to help, like, you know, with the experience and the knowledge that I'm going to earn. I'm going to help with the switch to electric vehicles and stuff. That's what I mentioned. And then you want to know, like, yeah, and then you want to know your career as well. Again, by knowing your career, for example, mine was like mechatronic engineering, but I was more interested in like electric vehicle sector and stuff. So I had done a lot of research on the electric vehicles. And what happened during my interview was like, he asked me, okay, so do you know like which is the biggest electric vehicle seller in Turkey? And I knew it, bro. I knew it. I did a lot of research. A lot of stuff was useless. But amongst the facts that I learned, the one was this. And I knew the company. I said Togg. You know, it's T-O-G-G. I don't know how to say it, but it's Togg. Okay. And so they were pretty happy when they learned that. And what happened was that the guy who asked me the question literally pulled out his phone and he showed me like two pictures of two cars, and he said like, okay, this is the car that I have. It's Togg. It's an electric car, and this is the other car that I took for a test drive. And the other one, this one was like an SUV, the one he had, and the other one was like a cool sports car and stuff. And so that was a pretty cool moment. And then they just started talking to each other, because apparently the other guy did not know that he took this car out for a test drive and stuff. And they just started talking to each other in Turkish, and I was just sitting over there like laughing over there. But it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, and that is pretty much all of my advice. Okay, I summed it up pretty fast. I summed it up pretty quick. I believe you don't have to watch other videos, but you can do it. Yeah, that's it, bro. Best of luck for the interview, and just go in with some confidence. Okay, believe in yourself. I don't know, man. None of that spiritual stuff, bro. Just prepare, bro. Confidence comes from preparation, okay? The more you're gonna be prepared, the more better you're gonna feel, okay? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna ask you about you, okay? So if you feel like you're prepared about answering questions about yourself, unstoppable, okay? Unstoppable. Just smile, you know. All right. All right.